Hello, Honkers fans. Welcome into Meet the Honkers, episode 14. I am Justin Velazquez, and I'm very happy to welcome returning honker Alex Pimentel onto the show. What's going on?
Hey, Justin. Thanks for having me.
How's your day been?
Pretty good. Just got done with practice, and now I'm hanging out at home.
You're from Anaheim Hills, California. So tell me how you got into baseball.
So I've been into baseball pretty much my whole life. Born and raised in Anaheim Hills. Been going to Angel games since I was as long as I can remember. My dad played baseball. My mom played softball. So it's just been a pretty much family-tuned sport that's been in my life.
Is your dad an Angels fan too?
He's actually a Yankees fan because he grew up in Brooklyn and he's from the Bronx.
So
yeah.
Angels doing pretty good. I mean, Trout is healthy again. Ohtani, I mean, that guy's insane. So how are you feeling about the Angels so far this year?
I love it. We got guys up and down the lineup that can change the game at any point. I actually went to the game where Reed Detmers threw a no-hitter and Rendon hit his lefty home run. So that was awesome.
So I turned that game on in the 8th inning, and like the first pitch I saw was the Rendon home run.
Yeah.
What was it like being there? Because the 8th inning kind of turned into a home run derby because the Rays had Brett Phillips pitching, right? So it's a home run derby, and then it's like the 9th inning comes and it's okay, we're 3 outs away from a no-hitter. So how was that like?
Yeah, it was electric. I think there were 40,000 people there that night. It was also a tiny bobblehead, so that's probably why. But yeah, I had seats like lined up with the right field fence, and as soon as Rendon hit that, I could like see the trajectory of the ball, and I was like, "That's gonna go." And then the next half inning, Reed Detmers finished no hitter, and it was just electric. The crowd blew up. It was awesome.
Him wear his shin guard on the wrong leg.
I did see that.
On his back leg, hitting left, hits it out.
And it was weird because I saw number 6 with his back to me, and I was like, "Is he hitting lefty?"
Next day, Joe Madden lists him as a switch hitter. So
yeah.
So you went to Villa Park High School, played 2 years on the varsity team there, your junior and senior year. So that freshman and sophomore season, what did you do to continue to improve your game in order to eventually get to varsity?
My high school had a lot of guys on the team, and I knew I wasn't going to play varsity my freshman and sophomore year. Like I had been told that like from the beginning. And so I just stuck with all of my like hitting coaches and travel teams. And I was always competing up as a kid. So when I got to varsity, it wasn't really a big surprise in skill level. But I had a lot of fun on my freshman team and my junior varsity team. I had a lot of fun. We won league both times. So the guys I came up to varsity with, we were also really good. So it was fun, even though I wasn't on.
Looking back, you said you were always playing, up a level than maybe where you were thought to be, I guess.
Yeah.
Looking back at that, how important do you think that was for you to get prepared for varsity and then college with Long Beach State?
I think it prepared me a lot because I always played with guys that were bigger than me and like stronger than me, and I knew the work ethic that they had, so I was able to use that as an example for when I got to their age, and then eventually I would catch up to them. So it all worked out in the end.
Your final 2 seasons you play on the varsity team, your junior and senior year. Your junior year, you were named Newcomer of the Year. What was that moment like when you found out you won the award?
Honestly, I didn't know that was an award till the banquet at the end of the year. So I was pretty confused, like when they called my name up, and so basically it meant like obviously what it so like the Newcomer of the Year, first year and playing varsity baseball. It was cool. I had a lot of fun on that team, like I said. Uh, I mean, I that's all I can really say. I didn't think I did that well, but apparently all the coaches voted for me, so that's nice to have.
The next year, you win league MVP in your high school career. You had 67 hits and 58 played, hit well over 300. What allowed you to have such a successful prep career in kind of a short amount of time in 2 years?
I had a very good hitting coach outside of high school. Not that I didn't use my high school coach, because we did get a change in between junior and senior year, who happened to be Bert Call from our day. But I did a lot of hitting lessons with my hitting coach, and we really dialed in the worrying about the slider and the curveball, because I knew I'd be getting a lot of those like first pitch because of what happened the previous year. I was just able to like wail on those pitches all season, and I think I ended up with like 9 more doubles than I did my junior year. So that's probably what I would say happened.
Take me behind dialing in those pitches. Is it like just going into the cage and facing like a slider or a curveball like hundreds of times?
Yeah, just seeing it, seeing which ones start as a strike and end up a ball, or start as a ball and end up a strike. Uh, which ones to hit, which ones to swing at, and just with guys, depending on how fast their slider is, you could tell if it's going to be like a loopy one or a really sharp late break. So we just worked on that all year, and it ended up paying off.
How are you able to translate that from the cage to the games? So I know that's a difficult transition. So how are you able to take all those reps from the cage and make it in live action?
Well, it is just repetition. So honestly, the cage is a little harder because it's closer. So you have less time to see that it's better or not. And when you're in the game, you're a little bit far away from the pitcher. So as long as you can recognize that tunnel, if it's coming out like to the right or straight, and if you can see the spin, you'll know which one to swing at. It's pretty. I mean, easier said than done, but if you do it a lot, then it gets a little bit easier with just like everything else.
How would you describe your overall game?
I play cool, calm, and collected. I'm not a very guy. I just kind of put my head down and try to do the job as best I can. I try not to ride the highs and the lows. I modeled that after Trout. I don't know if you've watched him play, but he's a pretty mellow guy. He's not like a rah after a home run. That's who I try to be. That's who I try to model my game after. And it works out. Home run, strikeout, same guy.
Not a bad guy to model your game after, especially being an outfielder.
Yeah, exactly.
Guys, I don't know how old he is, but by the time he was 29, he was already like, this guy's gonna go to the Hall of Fame. Like,
Yeah, he's unreal.
he really is. Thankfully, he's healthy, and we can see.
I know.
So you eventually commit to Long Beach State. Growing up in California, was that always a dream for you to play there?
College baseball was never like in the picture. Not that I didn't want to play college baseball, but I never really just got into it like other people did around me. I didn't know anything about like conferences. I didn't even know what our 5 school was. Didn't know anything like that. I just knew that I was playing to get like offers. So Long Beach State was my first offer, and I took it right away. And I really don't regret it, because it's a baseball school. We have great coaches here, and it's a very competitive conference. Big West is known for its baseball, and you get great competition here. You get good pitch. You have pitchers going first 3 rounds every year. So it's a good program here.
So you go to college, but you hit some adversity, right? So 2020 is cut short, unfortunately, due to COVID. And then 2021, you miss, it was about 6 weeks in the middle of the season due to injury. But that year you came back. And from the time you came back to the end of the season, you hit 333. So how important was that for you missing all that time to end that year on a positive note going into summer ball?
Yeah, it was fun. It was super important for me because I hadn't really played college baseball at all. Um, like you said, the shortened season for coach, I only played in 15 games or like 14 games. And then I only had a handful of starts in between those 15 games. So I never really played college baseball until I came back after my injury. And I think I learned a lot between those games and an entire summer ball to use it this year. So it was definitely important for me to bounce back like that.
You go to Rochester, you get a bunch of reps, right? I think you played in 52 of the 67 games, got a ton of at bats. I mean, what stood out to you about getting so much playing time after missing time?
Just the way you can bounce back after having a bad game just the next day. You go for 4 one day, and then you go 3-4 the next day, and then all of a sudden you're on a hitting streak, and then it could be taken like that, or you can ride along with it. And what I learned in summer ball last year is this game is hard, and it'll always be ready to kick you down, or it can always bring you up. So that's why I stay here. You never know what can happen. You could get injured. Thankfully, I did not last summer, and that's pretty much what the Northwoods taught me, because you have all the travel too, and you have the amount of games.
You're one of the returners on this team with Carson Stevens, Jack Collette, Zach Meddings, etc. How much are you looking forward to seeing those guys again?
I love those guys. Those guys made summer really fun last year. They didn't come for a while because I was here with Grimm the entire season last year, and they didn't come for a while. But when they did show up, it was a lot of fun, and Otto and I we really loved it.
Yeah, I was talking to Otto earlier in the series, and he talked about how in summer baseball, he really enjoyed all the different perspectives. You can learn so many different things. I think one thing he mentioned was how a different voice can like completely flip a switch on how you view things, whether it's hitting or pitching or anything like that. So how do you feel about that going to summer ball and getting all these new voices in your head?
Yeah, for summer ball, I mean, you get a whole bunch of voices from the players and the coaches, because you got players from all around the country and coaches from all around the country. So they bring with them like their coaching, and it's really interesting to see like what you can take and what you can take from the coaches that aren't normal coaches. And the most important thing is like how you take that back with you from some. Um, I took a lot of things back with me last year, and hopefully I can do it again this year.
There anything in particular you're looking to work on this summer, improve on to your game this summer?
Definitely like not guessing pitches, but just being harder with situational pitching, like runner on third with no outs. I'm probably not gonna get fastballs early in the count. So just looking ahead to maybe I'll pull at bat. And if I get 2 fastballs middle, then I tip my cap and just battle it out after that. But definitely a little more intelligent at bats, not just going up there, selling out fastball, and then swinging at sliders in the dirt.
I really appreciate the time, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
That is Alex Pimentel, returning outfielder to the Rochester Honkers this summer. Don't forget, opening day is coming up on May 30th. On Memorial Day, the Honkers will host a Wilmer Stingers. First pitch is at 6:35. Thank you, Honkers fans, for tuning in to another episode of Meet the Honkers. You can find every episode right here on the Rochester Honkers YouTube channel, posted at noon Central Time. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you for the next one.